Welcome, seekers of hidden lore and forgotten tales, to another journey into the depths of Middle-earth's most enigmatic legends. Today, we venture beyond the gleaming walls of Gondolin, the secret city of the elves, to uncover the long-lost vaults hidden beneath its fair streets. Reproduction of unmatched treasures, knowledge, and relics of an age-long past. Few speak of these secret chambers, and fewer still know what wonders may have been buried beneath the ruins when Morgoth's forces at last shattered Turgon's great stronghold. Could remnants of the First Age still lie undisturbed beneath the mountain? And what might these hidden troves reveal of the doomed city's final days? Let us unravel the mystery together. Gondolin, the hidden city of the Noldor, was founded in secrecy by Turgon, son of Fingolfin, in 116 of the First Age. Guided by the Valar Ulmo, he sought to create a refuge where his people could live free from the ever-looming shadow of Morgoth. Concealed within the encircling mountains, Gondolin was a marvel of elven craftsmanship. Its high towers gleamed in the sun, and its gates stood impenetrable, keeping the malice of Angband at bay for centuries. But a city of such splendor and power could not have been built without vast resources. And therein lies the first piece of our mystery. What of the wealth and wisdom stored within its depths? Did the elves, knowing their doom was approaching, hide away their most precious relics in vaults sealed against the tide of destruction? Tales of the treasures of Gondolin linger like whispers in the histories. It is said that Turgon's smiths wrought wonders rivaling even the craft of Feanor, and in his halls were arms and armor of gleaming mithril, some forged with lost techniques of the First Age. There was Glamdring, the foe hammer, and its mate Orcrist, the goblin cleaver. Blades of terrible beauty that would resurface long after Gondolin's fall. And yet, these were but a fraction of the legendary armory. What of the Aeglos, the fabled spear of Gil-galad, or other weapons unknown to later ages? Did some remain hidden in vaults deep beneath the city, untouched even as Morgoth's hosts tore down the walls above? If so, where might these crypts lie now, beneath the ruinous rocks of Amon Guartheth? The lore of Gondolin hints at more than mere weapons and wealth. In the Hall of the King, it is said, were tomes of wisdom, maps of the lands beyond the sight of mortal men, and records of the Eldar's deepest lore, knowledge that could have changed the fate of later ages. Some believe that Turgon, foreseeing the end, may have ordered these writings sealed away, protected from the flames that would consume his city. Could it be that beneath the shattered foundations of Gondolin, buried beneath rockfall and ruin, lie chronicles that reveal truths lost even to the wise of Rivendell and Númenor? But if such vaults existed, how were they sealed and why did they never resurface? Some say they were warded by ancient enchantments, hidden by the will of Ulmo himself, and that even as the city crumbled, these final sanctuaries remained untouched by the ruin. Others believe that when Gondolin fell in 510 of the First Age, its deepest halls collapsed, entombing the last of its secrets beneath unmovable stone. Yet a darker possibility exists. What if the vaults were found, long ago, by those who sought to keep their knowledge for themselves? Could some relics of Gondolin's lost hoards still linger in hidden corners of Middle-earth, awaiting discovery? If such vaults survived the ruin of Gondolin, their location remains one of the great unsolved mysteries of Middle-earth. Amon Guartheth, the towering hill upon which the city stood, was riven and broken when Morgoth's forces overran the city. Fiery rivers from the depths of Angband surged through its streets, and the ground itself trembled under the force of the siege. It is said that much of Gondolin was swallowed by the mountain, as the encircling peaks crumbled in the wake of the city's fall. If any vaults still lay beneath the ruins, they would now be buried under a labyrinth of shattered stone and molten rock. Yet, legends persist, whispers of deep passages sealed not by destruction, but by design, waiting for those worthy enough to reclaim what was lost. Elven strongholds were often built with hidden ways of escape, and Gondolin was no exception. Tuor, the husband of Idril, devised a secret passage known as the Way of Escape, through which he led his people to safety on the night of the city's fall. This passage was not the only hidden route within the city, however. Deep beneath Amon Gwereth, the ancient tunnels of the House of the Mole, the dwelling of Maeglin, ran like veins through the mountain. Maeglin, whose treachery doomed Gondolin, was a master of mining and delving. It is not impossible that he, whether out of paranoia or ambition, constructed secret chambers far from the sight of even the king. If any vaults of Gondolin endured the ruin, they may yet lie undiscovered within these forgotten depths. But Maeglin's halls were not the only places of hidden stonework. The smiths of the House of the Hammer of Wrath were known for their craftsmanship, and it is believed they wrought chambers of incredible strength, armories that could withstand the weight of the mountain itself. These vaults, if they existed, would have been built not merely for storage, but as sanctuaries, places where the knowledge and relics of the Noldor might endure even should the city fall. The question remains, were these halls buried beyond reach, or could they yet be found by those who know where to look? Some stories claim that remnants of Gondolin's treasures were later recovered, though their origins remain shrouded in mystery. The swords Glandring and Orcrist reappeared in the Third Age, discovered within a troll hoard in Eriador. But how they came to be there is unknown. Were they taken by the survivors of Gondolin and lost over the ages? Or did plunderers, whether orcs or men, stumble upon the ruined city long after its fall and carry away what relics they could find? If so, what else might have been taken and what might yet remain buried beneath Amon Gwereth? If these vaults do exist, they would contain more than mere artifacts. The true treasure of Gondolin was its knowledge, accounts of the First Age, the arts of the elves, and wisdom that might have changed the course of later history. If any scrolls or books were hidden before the fall, their worth would be beyond measure. Among them might have been lost works on the music of the Ainur, deeper lore on the forging of the Silmarils, or even records of Ulmo's guidance to Turgon. Such knowledge could reshape the understanding of Middle-earth's history, revealing long-forgotten truths about the Elder Days. Yet, if the vaults have never been found, what prevents their discovery? One answer may lie in the doom that fell upon Gondolin. Ulmo himself, the great Lord of Waters, guided Turgon to its founding, but he also warned him that its fall was inevitable. Some believe that as the city was destroyed, Ulmo wove his power into the ruins, ensuring that none, whether elf, man, or orc, could find what was left behind. Could the hidden vaults be protected by more than just stone and secrecy? Might they be veiled in enchantment, concealed from all eyes until the time is right for their secrets to be revealed? If enchantments were indeed placed upon the ruins of Gondolin, then the task of uncovering its hidden vaults would be far more complex than mere excavation. In the long history of Middle-earth, certain places have been veiled in secrecy, hidden from those unworthy or unready to behold their wonders. The doors of Durin in Khazad-dûm could not be opened save by knowledge of the ancient elven tongue. The realm of Lothlorien remained concealed to outsiders through the will of Galadriel, and in Númenor's twilight, the Undying Lands themselves were removed from the circles of the world, lost beyond mortal reach. Could a similar fate have befallen the deepest chambers of Gondolin? If Ulmo sought to preserve its greatest secrets, he alone among the Valar had the power to conceal them from all but those he deemed fit to find them. But if these vaults remain intact beneath the mountain, why have they not been sought in the later ages? The answer may lie in the nature of Gondolin's fall. When Morgoth's armies overran the city in 510 of the First Age, the land was forever scarred by fire and ruin. Few who beheld its splendor lived to tell of it, and even fewer knew of its hidden ways. Tuor and Idril led their people southward to the mouths of Sirion, and with them, the memory of Gondolin faded. The Second Age saw the rise and fall of Númenor, the forging of the Rings of Power and the great wars against Sauron, wars that left little time for delving into the past. By the Third Age, Gondolin had become legend, its name a whisper on the lips of scholars and wanderers, while its ruins, if they endured, lay buried beneath the weight of time itself. Yet not all knowledge of Gondolin was lost. Elrond Half-Elven, raised among the survivors of the city, may have held within Rivendell's vast archives maps and accounts of its final days. The elves of Lindon, too, preserved fragments of its history, for Círdan had long been a friend to Turgon's house. Could it be that somewhere within the hidden halls of Imla, if such knowledge was ever recorded, it has not surfaced in the histories of men. But this does not mean it is gone. There are those who believe that one day the ruins of Gondolin may yet be uncovered. In the waning days of the Fourth Age, when the dominion of men spread across Middle-earth and the last of the Eldar faded into the west, it is possible that some seekers, whether scholars of Arnor, explorers from Gondor, or wandering remnants of the Eldar, may have ventured northward in search of the fabled city. What, if anything, they may have found remains unknown. But if the vaults of Gondolin do still lie beneath the rock, untouched by time, then, perhaps one day, the treasures of the hidden city will rise again, shedding light on an age long past. The question remains, if such a discovery were to occur, what might be revealed? Would it be an armory of weapons long thought lost? A library of knowledge that could rewrite the histories of the First Age? Or perhaps something else, something greater, yet more dangerous than any mere relic of war or wisdom? Gondolin, after all, was a city touched by the Valar, guided by the will of Ulmo himself. If any power lingers there still, it may be that those who seek its treasures will find more than they bargained for. If the vaults of Gondolin do still lie buried beneath the ruins of Emon-Guateth, their rediscovery would mark one of the greatest revelations in the history of Middle-earth. But such a finding would not come without peril. The treasures of the First Age were not merely weapons or gold. They were artifacts of a time when the world was young, when the will of the Valar was strong, and when the wrath of Morgoth still darkened the land. If any remnants of that power endure, they may be beyond the comprehension of later ages, their purpose forgotten, their dangers unknown. Consider the fate of Numenor, where the knowledge of past ages, once wielded with wisdom, became a means to pride and ruin. What if the vaults of Gondolin contain secrets that should never be unearthed? There are whispers in old texts of lost arts, the crafting of swords infused with the light of the stars, enchantments woven into mithril and steel, knowledge of the Ainur that was never meant for mortal minds. If such things still rest beneath the mountain, then any who seek them would do well to remember that even the greatest of the Eldar, in their wisdom, could not escape the doom that befell them. And yet, the legend endures. Among the ruins of the past, Middle-earth has always found its future. The shards of Narsil lay forgotten for centuries before being reforged into Andoril, the flame of the West. The ring of Barahir, thought lost in the fall of Dorthonion, became an heirloom of the Dunedain, linking Aragorn himself to the First Age. Even the Palantiri, scattered and broken by time, retained their power for those who dared to wield them. If the lost vaults of Gondolin are ever found, they may contain something greater than mere relics. Perhaps even a hope long buried, waiting to rise once more. For now, the fate of Gondolin's hidden treasures remains an enigma. The mountain stands silent, its ruins undisturbed, and the last of those who walked its fair streets have passed beyond the circles of the world. But as long as Middle-earth endures, there will always be those who seek what was lost, who listen to the old songs and wonder what still lies beneath the stone. Perhaps one day the veil will be lifted, and the hidden vaults of Gondolin will yield their secrets at last. Until then, we are left with only stories, and the endless question that has haunted seekers of lost lore for ages. What still remains, unseen beneath the earth, waiting to be found?